Okay, headed to the Rochester Antique Show. Really excited for this. Red is also very excited for this. He unfortunately has to come with us today because he can't stay at the Airbnb, but we're gonna go eat a delicious lunch afterwards and go for a hike. I think it's gonna be a really fun day. But first, we want to try to make some money at this show, find some good stuff to buy at a Resell. It's a nice show. There's actually like 6 or 7 dealers that we know from like the show circuit who are set up here. So I don't know if there's going to be how much. I'm sure there was a lot of buying during setup, so I don't know. Maybe there'll be nothing good left for me, or maybe I'll find some good stuff. So let's dive right in and check it out.
Sir, what will you be looking for today, Red?
Squirrels. Squirrel?
What will you be looking for at the show?
Squirrels. Okay, nice looking show from the very start. Brighter and much bigger aisles than the last show we attended. So like I said, there were some dealers here we know, some dealers we're excited to see, and a lot of dealers that we don't know, but it looks like a lot of nice early stuff, a mixture of stuff. Some funky weird stuff that I like. Definitely booths with jewelry, booths more primitive, a little booths more formal, some booths nothing but art. Yeah, early glass, always got to look at all the early glass. Love that shoe sign. Decent crowd. The crowd looks smaller than it really was because the aisles were so wide, which was, like I said, super nice for walking through. That guy had a lot of cool stuff too. Yeah, some dealers had signs, some had fancy tablecloths. Most of the booths were presented very well. Like I said, fairly bright inside. Much easier to see the stuff at this show than the last show. Yeah, look at all that cool stuff. Booths were numbered. They had a map that they give out when you bought your ticket, so you could go right to the dealers you were looking for. Some really cool stuff at this show. Digging that American flag back there. There's a dealer I knew from my show circuit time. You can see that little, on the ground there on the right, sneak peek. There we go. Here's some of my purchases. I actually made 2 trips to the car overall. Hit some Indian food for lunch. It was a Medal award-winning Indian food place in Rochester. Very good food. Chicken tikka masala, of course. Bygone barda, very, very good. Bygone barda wasn't nearly as good as the bygone barda we got in Colorado, but it was still very good. And we had, I think, 6 meals out of all this food, which was super nice. Oh, hey, buddy. Say hi to the camera. Afterwards, we got a dessert coffee for Emily, and I a split. And then after that, we ended up skipping hiking because of the raining, and we hit the Ontario Mall. I had heard about this mall from 2 different dealers. One was Gene Pratt at the Antique Show, said I needed to hit it. So we hit it on the way back. Very large. They actually have 2 locations, one further and closer into the Rochester area, I guess. Wow, look at that. Love that cat. Ooh, look at that. That's a cool painting, too. Hunting dog carrying the duck. My first purchase. Yeah, buddy. Sports cards. J&R Ferris Antiques. This person I know from Facebook. I'm sure there's probably other vendors in here that I know online. Hard to see the price on these things in the showcase. Love the stop sign. Check it out. More sports cards. Yeah, good early country, good early primitives, good early pottery. This antique mall has a lot of cool stuff. Love that folk art. Game board looks like one I used to own. Might have sold that at Brimfield, or it might be similar to one. This person had some great sports cards. Not cheap enough for me, but had some really nice sports cards. A lot of sports cards in here, a lot of advertising. I used to own one of those kissed ones, the one on the left. Love this little lamp, early cord for this lamp. Neat thing with the driftwood base. A lot of pottery in this antique mall, a lot of pottery. Some of it seemed very reasonable. Love this sign. Remember when these used to be cheap compared to advertising signs? You could get road signs pretty cheap, not anymore. Like I said, a lot of pottery, a lot of early stuff in this antique mall. It was very large. So like any mall, it had a mixture of stuff, but some good early graded comics. Yeah, that piece there, it's actually a Persian bottle. Looked like a period one, but too much for me to resell. Cool piece of pottery there. Check out the price. Not an awful price on that, I don't think. Not sure what Utica birds bring now, but that was a pretty good price. That one's slightly blurry design, but better than average design on that bird. Look at that. That's cool. A Oddfellows voting box. A lot of folk art in this antique mall, which was cool to see because a lot of antique malls don't have much I like. But this one actually had a ton of stuff I liked. Not much cheap enough for me today, but a lot of stuff I liked. A lot of cool stuff to look at. It's a cool ice cream sign for sure. There we go. Horsing shoes, horseshoe signs. Horse-related signs are pretty good. Yeah, carving in a bottle. That was curious. Look at that. A lot more pottery, and I didn't even film. Probably, I filmed very little bit of the pottery in here. Hoosier, I know Hoosier. Yeah, pretty good antique mall. This booth, I don't know what these people are thinking when they fill their booths like this. How are you supposed to even look at anything? It's like my storage unit has a wider aisle to walk through than this booth had. Really hard to buy stuff in places like that. It was a big place. 30% off. Coke. That's kind of cool. That seemed kind of reasonable. Lots of showcases, lots of cool stuff. It stopped raining, but man, it looked like it was gonna pour on us on a drive home too. About a 90-minute drive for us to get back. It was a very successful show. Kind of surprising to me because, to be honest, we've been here 4 weekends, and this is the 3rd show we've attended in New York State. And to be honest, going into it, I thought this one would be the worst one for buying. The first one we hit was this show in Syracuse, indoor, a little flea markety, a little bit indoor antique show. Skipped a weekend, no shows. Then the 3rd weekend we drove up to Schoharie for that show, which we were really excited by. In fact, we had booked a hotel to make it a little bit easier. That show ended up being semi-successful, not as successful with the hotel costs, but we had some great meals, so it was a fun trip, well worth going. Super glad I went. And so this was the 3rd show, and like I said, in 4 weekends, and we had, to be honest, the lowest hopes for this one. This show had the most dealers that I knew, which can be good, but it also can mean that the show might be picked over a little bit before I get in there, but that was not the case. Or rather, it's just I like stuff different than those people, and sometimes the most professional dealers are the easiest to buy from. So maybe that was the case, but either way, I bought some really cool things. First thing I bought was this cool figure. He was, this is interesting. I knew of this dealer. I've never met this dealer before, husband and wife from Western New York, but I saw this, they have a shop that's open by appointment only, and a person I'm Facebook friends with went to the shop, took a bunch of photos of the shop, posted them online. I saw this figure in the showcase, and I didn't ask about it. Probably should have. Turns out it was probably slightly more than I wanted to pay for it, but still a really cool figure. Great surface, great face, nice wear to it. So that was my first purchase. From the same dealer, I ended up buying 2 other things because they made me a good deal on them. Yeah, it's like a wood gun, probably a sign for a gun shop. Has some little carvings of figures on it. You can see right there, probably done after it was no longer used in a gun shop. But nice surface to it. Buffalo on that side. Pheasant, it looks like, on that side. But yeah, really cool, nice surface. Happy with that, and really excited because I saw this on their website beforehand, but I wasn't sure. Again, you know, it's barber's pole. Super worn on the one side that was exposed to all the weather. Has has the holes from the original bracket. Complete not complete as is, never cut down or anything. So really neat thing. I have a thing for barber's poles. I've sold, I don't know, maybe 10 over the last couple years. I have one in my inventory right now, so super excited to buy that. Again, not like dirt cheap, wasn't like they were giving it away, but I think money left in it. Finally, unfortunately, that was like 2/3 of the way into the show at that point. So I thought, well, if that's all I buy, that's good. Went down finally went down the middle row and hit a dealer that had this in a little showcase. I bought something very similar to this recently, sold it in my last email blast, and so I figured, oh, that guy might want a second one. This one was a little bit more money, but a little bit nicer with the painted face, so I bought that. I've already flipped it to him. Same dealer. I got this piece of found art. I don't know, I sold a really cool brick that was found in Lake Erie recently. This is, judging where these dealers are from, Lake Ontario maybe. Driftwood with a rock embedded in it. Has a neat look. Same people had this. This is probably a keeper. Emily has a small collection of these. We might soon have a big collection of these. Maybe we might be the foremost collectors of painted fungi in the States. I don't know, but that's like our 5th one. That was deassessed from Mount Vernon, you know, the home of George Washington. So kind of a cool piece. And they also had this, which I've already sold. I did pretty good on this. A busk. Emily actually found this kind of neat with a carving started but not finished. Sold this on my Instagram page. Off-center head, has a neat figural sculptural look to it. Emily had a good eye for spotting that. We then took all the purchases outside, decided to come back in. I wanted to look at a couple more things that I had seen. We ended up, I have to cover up the tag on this, ended up buying this for Emily's dad. It's a, I think he might be trying to sell it. So it's a record, a family record drawing from Ohio, sort of in the Pennsylvania style of fractures. It's neat. I don't know if he's gonna sell it or not. I have to cover the price, but it's neat because it's got this eagle up here. Really cool thing. Went down the middle aisle because I had to do a little bit of research, and I ended up buying this double eagle flask, Stoddard, New Hampshire. Nice color, nice condition. It says Granite Glassworks on the back, Stoddard, New Hampshire up front. But great color, nice. These are often great colors though. They're really nice bottles. But the double eagle flask, if you click flask, you know there's a lot of double eagles out there. So I guess sometimes it's hard to figure out which one you have as a seller. And so that one had a little bit of money left in it, so I was excited to buy that. Same vendor, I bought this. It's a glazed piece of pottery with like an applied decoration on the outside. This Emily is threatening to keep as well, but we'll see. Neat with the grapes. Not sure how much money is left in it. Never owned one of those before, but yeah, that was the bulk of my, not the bulk, that was the entirety of my purchases at the antique show. From the antique show though, we went and had a delicious lunch, Indian again. We were excited. We got Bygone Barda, a dish we hadn't had since Colorado, and it was the first time we ever had it out there. It was amazing. We ended up having like 3 times. Haven't seen it at the Indian restaurant since. This one had it. It wasn't nearly as good as the dish out there, but made in a different style. But the tiki masala was delicious, so that was nice. And then hit a coffee shop, walked around a little bit in a town outside of Rochester. Super cool area with lots of water, rivers and lakes and big lakes and everything. We did hit an antique mall on the way back called Ontario. We had been recommended this place by 2 different dealers locally. They both said, you deal in a lot of weird stuff, different stuff. You might find something there. First thing I found there was a sheet of basketball cards. 18 cards. They knew they were Hall of Famers. It said 18, or it said like 15 Hall of Famers, but it includes a mostly lower grade, but includes a Bill Walton rookie card, which is, ended up being like $15 for the whole sheet of cards. The Bill Walton rookie card is worth more than that. And a bunch of like $2 to $4, $5 cards. So not a bad buy, no, definitely a good buy. Took a chance on this. I gotta clean it a little bit, it's awfully dirty. Carved whimsies in a bottle. I've had a bunch of these. I own a really cool one right now of a man on a cross, but this is just a lot of different like tools and stuff. There's an axe, there's a big pocket knife, there's a little chair, ladder with jugs, be helpful if I could talk, T-square, a little toy wood gun, a couple saws, just really well done. I've tried to see if I can't find a signature anywhere on any of the little pieces, but I haven't yet. But really neat thing. Actually, an earlier one, a tool top bottle. This is probably like 1890s to 1905-ish range that it was made into the folk art stuff. So yeah, those are my purchases. I think a very good day antiquing. I've actually already sold several of these things and hoping to sell some more by the time I edit and post a video. So yeah, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to follow my nomadic antiques journey, please hit like and subscribe. Peace.